Hi, this is a tutorial of the Winning Prize Search Pro software, which helps you maximize your winning chances of winning big prizes. If you haven't already, set up a free account at winningprizesearch.com and get access to the software. So, this is the actual software just starting up, and this is the actual speed. It's compatible with computers even 10 or 15 years old and works just as fast, downloading about 3,000 sweepstakes in that time frame. So what is this and how does it help you? Well, first of all, it's an easy-to-use organizer that manages thousands of sweepstakes, contests, and competitions. It's easy to manage multiple profiles right up here. There's a built-in keyboard assistant that works with flash forms. No other form filler can do this, especially because this is not a form filler. It's actually typing things out as if you were physically doing it yourself. And I will get into that later on in this video. This helps you find big prizes using the search functionality right up here, and it is constantly updated with new sweepstakes contests and so forth, plus much more. This video is split up into two parts. The first part will give you a brief overview of how to get started. The second part will go into some of the more advanced functionality in order to really master and maximize your winning chances using the software. So let's get started. First of all, there's really only three things that you need to do to get started right away. Number one, you want to set up a user profile, and you do that right up here. Number two, you find the sweepstakes, contests, competitions that you want to enter. And number three, you finally navigate back and forth, enter them, and then mark them as done. A profile is important because it helps track what was entered for a specific person and also helps fill in forms with something called the Keyboard Express. The prize section lists all the different types of contests, sweepstakes, and so forth. You can sort by last entry, entries, frequency, name, euros, expiry, value, and so forth simply by clicking this button right here. And then let's say you find something you want to enter. You simply click on the link right here and then use the navigation bar down here. So you'd click on this green button and it would open it up. So now I'm going to actually demonstrate. So let's create a profile. First of all, you'll want to click on this icon right up here with the green plus sign. The icons next to it will allow you to edit it once you've created the profile, and if you find you created a profile you don't want anymore, you can simply click on the icon with the red X. So here you'll want to enter a descriptive name for the profile. This is simply to help you remember which profile you're using. And next is common information you will usually use to fill in a sweepstakes form. The Keyboard Express, which I'll get into later, will help you fill in any form information, including flash forms, with whatever information you type in here. Over here, you'll enter things like your birth date, age, sex, and so forth. Some sites will require you to create an account before you can actually start entering on their website, so you may need to also fill in things like your birthplace, income, username, right over here for things like account setup, password, and/or email. And of course, again, the Keyboard Express can help you speed up the entry process by typing this information in if you wish. Finally, some forms will ask you to enter friends' email addresses. Usually it'll be used for something like bonus entries, so you can also fill in this part of the profile if you wish as well. Once you've done everything, simply click on the Save Changes button and it'll save it and create your profile. Next, we have the prize section. Like I said, you can sort all these different columns simply by clicking on the column heading right up here. It'll make it a lot easier for you to find what you want to enter. And down below here, you'll notice the description. So if I click on an item here, it'll fill this in, the title, website, expiry date, and so forth. If you just want to hide that, you can click on this button. If you want to see it again, you can click on that. So you just move up and down, and it automatically fills in the details below. For sorting columns, again, simply click on the column name, and it does it alphabetically. Click it again to do it in the reverse direction. Likewise for euros, up and down, expiry dates, prize values, and you can find the type of sweepstakes, and sometimes you also have notes, which are usually provided by other people, so it might be a special code that you need in order to enter this. So Another really cool thing is something called the keep on top function. So when you actually are entering these, it will keep this form on top so you'll know what you're entering, and it makes things a heck of a lot easier. You can also easily resize this, and the form automatically moves all the icons, so it's nice and easy to use, nice and easy to access. And then of course you can move the window over here. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use a detailed profile, which I've already filled in some of the information. To see it, you'd simply click on this edit icon right here, and you can see I typed in detailed profile. I have title, first, middle, last name. I have a random phone number, random address, state. I also have random birthday. This income would be fantastic. Also have the username, password, and then of course the friends' emails right here. So let's say we wanted to enter this sweepstakes right here. So I just select whatever I want, and then I would click this green button here, and it opens it in a new window. And as you can see, what's really cool, this form stays on top while I have my entry form here. And you can either type in the information, you can use your favorite form filler, or like I said, if you don't have a form filler or your form filler can't fill it in, you can use something called the Keyboard Express. Basically what it is anytime you have a form field, right here, simply click on the F8 button and this little handy dandy menu will pop up. So you have things like your name, your personal details, your address, your phone, your email, birth date, login details, and so forth. So for example here, if we wanted our first name, I'd simply click that and it types in first. And of course that corresponds to what I filled in the details here. So first name says first, and that's what it typed in. Likewise, I could go to the next field, press F8 again, go to the name, go to last name, and it fills that in as well. And of course, I'd go all the way down and then fill in all this information. Once I'm done, I'd click on the submit button. Now, really cool thing is once I've done that, I simply click on this green check mark and it'll mark it as done. And since the software knows that it's a daily entry, if say I try and click on it again, this turns red. So if I was scrolling up and down, I'd go, oh geez, I don't want to enter that today. The really cool thing is, let's just move this column over here, is you can see that this was entered on the 15th. So basically, if it was the 16th, when I navigated over here, it would change to green. And of course, it remembers other things. So for example, with an unlimited sweepstakes or contest, it knows that, well, it's unlimited, so this button will always be green. And then of course, if it's a one-time only, it will be red. So let's make this window a bit larger and sort by the euro again. So let's, for example, go to the next sweepstakes. You see it's already red. And again, you see this is red, or this is green because, yes, this was entered on the 14th and today's the 15th. So we know, oh, great, today we can enter this sweepstakes again. So again, to do that, I'd simply click on this green button, opens up the window right here. You can use your favorite form filler. You can type in the information by hand, or again, you can use the keyboard assistant simply by pressing the F8 button, get this little pop-up menu to fill in all the details. Now, like I said, you can have multiple profiles, so if you were entering for your mother, your father, your spouse, your children, and so forth, you'd simply click this drop-down button and simply click a different profile. So here, once we click that, you realize everything changed because the entries were different for this basic profile. Likewise, if I had my profile, I haven't entered anything, so it's completely blank. And it really makes it easy to track who you're entering for, how much you've entered, and so forth. Now, a really cool feature is, let's say days were going long, I keep on clicking this green button. You can see that the entry count keeps on going up, so it's really convenient because it keeps track of how many times you've entered, how often you've entered, and so forth. And again, let's say if by accident we clicked on the green item, we were like, oh my goodness, didn't mean to do that. You'd simply click on this X right here and it would remove that. So makes it very easy for tracking. So that's really all you need to do to get started. You simply click and create your own profile. You choose the sweepstakes that you want to enter. You click on this green button, open it in a new window and enter it, and then mark it as done. Now comes the second part of the video where we get to the really, really cool stuff. If you don't already find this amazingly cool so far, which I personally do. So, let's say, for example, you realize you never ever want to enter this sweepstakes. You can simply click on the remove listing at the bottom here. And let's say you wanted to add your own sweepstakes. You'd click on this add new listing by entering this button. Now a really neat thing is it will actually see if an item already exists. Let's just move this browser window, make it a little bit larger. Click on the add sweepstakes again. Move it over here. And let's say, for example, we didn't know that this auto show sweepstakes already entered. So we typed in auto show sweepstakes rules.com. We click on this button right here to check and see if it exists. And it's like, oh my, it already exists. So we know, okay, we don't need to add that. But let's say we had a brand new sweepstakes site, which of course I know does not exist in the software. So if we check to click and see if that existed, we click that button and it says success, you may add this item. So that saves you time right off the bat. Then of course you can fill in the details such as title, sponsor, rules, any notes, prize description, keywords. This is important if you want to make it easier for you to find things at a future date. So for example, if it was a car, you'd put in car. If it was ice cream, you put in ice cream, and so forth. The total prize value, that's for all the prizes, the number of prizes being offered, who it's open to, any age ranges or just not applicable. Start dates, these are optional because not every contest or sweepstakes provides that, but if it does, you can put that in. The end date, of course, that's important. So when is this over? The frequency, is it one time only, a daily, weekly, and so forth? Is it per person, per email, per household? And then finally, you can choose the type of sweepstakes. So if it's a blog or CAPTCHA, you simply check mark this. You can choose multiple items, so maybe it's a Facebook and it's a game. Or maybe it's a Facebook, a game, and an Instagram. So you can check mark whatever you want. And likewise, then you can finally categorize it. So again, it makes it easier for you to find things at a future date. So if you find some really cool car sweepstakes, just click on this, make sure that's selected. Likewise, if it's clothing, cash, electronics, whatever, you can scroll up and down. You can also have multiple categories because sometimes it might be a car, but it might also be worth over $25,000. So there's a category for that. Finally, once you've filled in all this information, you simply click on the save item and it will add it to the list. Now, the next thing is, let's say, for example, we wanted to report the sweepstakes for whatever reason. Maybe it was a broken link, maybe it was spam, maybe it was a referral link, maybe it was a duplicate. For whatever reason, we can report it. This helps us keep a clean list for you, as well as helps make sure you get the best possible prizes to enter in the future. If you want to add additional comments, you can. So you can say this was a duplicate link, and then you click on submit report. If you want to remove this listing from your own personal list at the same time, by default this is checkmarked. So if we click submit report, you'll notice this will disappear. So we do that. We want a reason, so let's do that. Click a reason other, this was duplicate link, click submit report, and it removes it. And of course, if all you wanted to do is report it, but you wanted to keep it for yourself, let's say it was broken link, this doesn't work, you can simply uncheck mark that and it will leave that there. So we click on submit report, we get the report, we can look into it, but you get to keep the link here. Finally, you have something called a domain blocker. So for some people, they know there's certain types of contests or sweepstakes they just won't enter. This is highly customizable because some people love, say, entering book sweepstakes, while other people don't. For demonstration purposes, let's say, for example, for whatever reason, you did not like these pizzazz sweepstakes. So what you do is you click on this domain blocker, you would type in the actual base domain, so it's contest.pizzazz.com, and it's important to make sure you have this final ending slash. If you don't have it, it won't work correctly. So make sure you put that in. And of course, when you have this check mark, refresh listings after saving changes, it'll go through the list and remove those domains. So let's do that. We click on this. It goes through, it's cleaning the list right now. And voila, you notice there's no pizzazz anymore. It just goes from club to the Cosmopolitan. But let's say we realize, actually, we really do love the pizzazz sweepstakes. Well, if we wanted to do that, we simply select that, delete it, and then click on Save Changes again, and they will be back there. And by the way, like I said again, it's really cool when you see everything loading up. This is the real speed that it's loading up. So it's very fast, very easy, and very simple to use. Next, this is the search functionality. There's a basic search and there is an advanced search. We'll start with the basic search. Here you would put in certain keywords associated with a type of sweepstakes. So let's say we wanted to find sweepstakes, contests, or items that had to do with chocolate. We would simply type in chocolate, press enter, and it goes through the entire list and finds everything that lists chocolate. So veggie burgers plus free 2 pounds of chocolate. That sounds good. Then we click here. Godiva dark chocolate. Wow, that's fantastic. Another chocolate. So we see all these different chocolate sweepstakes. Right here, it shows us how many we found. So this currently selected is item 4 of 12. Now let's say we wanted gift cards. We would simply type in the word gift cards, press enter. Goes through the entire list to find them, and then we simply start clicking, and you'll notice $500 Amazon gift card, $1,000 gift card, $50 gift certificates. So this is really fantastic, $2,000 furniture gift certificate. And what's really cool is you'll notice there's actually 584 items, all that have gift cards. So you could win a lot here, and you can spend a lot of time just entering all of this. Finally, let's say we wanted cars. Maybe we wanted a Chevrolet. So we'd type in Chevrolet. Let's make sure I'm doing that correctly. We press enter, or again, you can press this little search icon here, whatever's easiest for you. I personally like just pressing enter, so we press enter, searches through everything, and then these are all car-related sweepstakes. So this is a Nashville, Tennessee Chevrolet sweepstakes. This you actually win your own car up to $50,000. Here we have a $40,000 vehicle. So this is really fantastic. You could specify things like Ford, trucks, cars, race cars, whatever you wanted. Or you could look for cruises. You could look for computers, electronics. It's really, really easy and simple to use. You just simply type in the keywords you want and it'll go through it. But let's say you wanted more detail, you wanted more fine details. Well, that's what this advanced search button is for right here. Click on this, and you notice now you can say it must contain all the words. So you could say something like it has to have the word Ford, has to have the word truck in it. If you didn't want a car, you'd say it shouldn't be a car, so you'd put in car right here. You could specify the prize value, so you could say minimum $10,000, or if you wanted to focus on smaller sweepstakes, because sometimes you have a very good chance of entering those, because sometimes people will skip them, you could just say you wanted anything from $20 to $50. Next, you could choose to focus, say, on dailies, monthlies, one-time onlys, whatever you wanted. You can choose if it's per person, email, household, who it's open to, whether it's open in the USA, Canada, UK, Australia, or all of these. And again, you can choose what type you want. So some people love entering blog giveaways. Sometimes there's a very good chance of winning those. Sometimes other people like the CAPTCHA because harder to enter sweepstakes require more work, and more work tends to mean less entries tends to mean better chances of you winning, and so forth. So you can look for Facebook sweepstakes, games, Instagram, instant, memberships, online sweepstakes, photo, Pinterest, and so forth. Finally, you can choose from a whole bunch of different categories right down here. You can choose multiple categories, so you could say you want cars. If we scroll down, oh, actually we want automobiles as well. We could say we want prizes that have a cash value of $25,000 or more. You could choose clothing, electronics, and so forth. Whatever you wanted. Finally, once you figured all the criteria you want, you click on the search button, and then it would search. So now going back to the main screen, let's just remove that because we want to list all the items, not just Chevrolets. So you press enter, and then it refreshes the list and loads everything in. Now there's finally another really cool feature. Wait, there's more? Yes, there's definitely more. There's so much cool stuff here. So we have the navigating open 0 button. What this does is it saves you even more time. So you simply click on this. It'll ask you, do you want to open it in your default browser or Microsoft Internet Explorer? We do want to use Internet Explorer for demonstration purposes. So I'll click on yes, and it opens the window right here. We'll just move this over right here, make it nice and easy to see. So now let's go back to this Hearst Mobile Sweepstakes. What this does is instead of having to click this and then click this and click this and click this, all you do is you start off with one sweepstakes first, loads it in, you fill in the details, and then once you're done, you would mark it as done, and then all you have to do is click on the next listing and it loads it in. You don't have to close any tabs, you don't have to re-click this button here, so it just makes it really simple to go back and forth. So you can see I'm just loading all of that in. And this is a home workout bike sweepstakes. If we went to the Pizzazz, let's start off here. We click on the go, win a camera. Let's say we filled in this form, entered all this information here. Click on this go button, goes to the next item. Now you can win a printer. So it's really, really simple. And like I said, let's go back to the detailed profile where I've entered all these details. So again, some form fillers just won't work with Google Forms. Well, cool thing is, again, Keyboard Express, it does work. So we press the F8 key, pops up this little menu. Let's say we wanted to type in the full name. Click on this, and it types in the full name. And again, first and last is simply because that's what we have right here. If I entered something, let's say Jane, and what's a good last name? Smith. Let's say that's a middle name. Let's say Jane Smith right here. So we click the Save Changes, successfully saved it. We go back to the first name, press F8, pops up this little menu, and again, remember it's typing it out. It is not filling in the form. It is not cutting and pasting. It is actually typing it out as if you were physically doing it yourself, which is so cool. So click on the first name right here, and it typed in Jane Smith. So again, you just go through all these options. Once you finish it, you click on Submit, and again, mark it as done. Then we can go on to the next item. And yes, we're sure we want to leave this page. And it would load that in. And so that's just how easy it is to use. Really nice and simple, and really, really super duper fast. And yeah, it's fantastic. I love it myself, and I hope you do too. So this pretty much concludes the tutorial. Just giving a brief overview again. To get started, it's 3 important things. Number 1, you want to click and create a profile. Number 2, you want to find stuff to enter. Number 3, you finally go to the sweepstakes and enter it. Then on the advanced stuff, there's this search functionality, there's the Keyboard Express, there's adding and removing sweepstakes. You can modify sweepstakes, so if you notice any mistakes, you can change that. You can report sweepstakes, the domain blocker, plus the treasure box, which is really cool. I'm not even going to cover it in this video because it's just fantastic what's coming up with that. So I hope you have a great day. Hope you learned a lot, and good luck. Talk to you later.